I grew up buying books from my local independent bookseller. Grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska. There's this little bookseller there. One of these quirky little bookstores that only had certain things in it. They did science fiction and fantasy. Not a chain, just their own thing. And I remember buying about hundreds of books there. The place eventually went out of business, and I moved out here to Utah. I had no clue, no idea what Sam Weller's was. In fact, the first time I found out about Sam Weller's was when someone from here emailed me and asked me if I'd come to a book signing. This is years later. I mean, I've grown up now, and I've published books, and you know, they said, "Come in, do you want to do a signing? We love having local authors." I said, "Sure, a bookstore." I didn't even know this bookstore existed. And I walked through the door, and I stopped, and I realized, I said, it smells right. That's kind of a dumb thing. Oh, it smells right, but it smells right. Bookstores, wonderful old bookstores like this have a smell to them. The books have a smell, and it smelled like the bookstore did that I bought books at growing up. And walking into a store like this, when you're a book person, you can find a home in any city. You know, whether you're going, wherever you are, you can find one of these bookstores. The bookstores that have the personal touch on them, not the sterilized ones where all the shelves are the same and have the exact same books on them, where nobody working there really even reads books. Now, when you come to a store like this, you don't work at a bookstore like this unless you love books. You don't come to a bookstore like this unless you love books. And walking in is like walking home. I love this store. It's beautiful. I was struck immediately by the balcony, but you know, a lot of bookstores have stacks and stacks and stacks of books, and of course those were around here too. But it was also just so open and filled with all of these shelves and the walls and everything. It was an amazing experience, and I felt very grateful for being brought in. It was my first book. My first book, nobody knew who I was, and yet here Sam Weller's was asking me to do a book signing. One of my very first book signings ever I did here at this store. Actually, next door they had a space, an event space, and I felt like a real author for the first time, because any other signings I'd done, you sit at a little table hidden in a corner somewhere. No, at Sam Weller's there was an audience, there were chairs set up, there was a podium, there was refreshments, and people, they'd made an event of it. I have rarely felt as welcome as I did when the first time I walked through the doors into this wonderful, lovely building.